It begins.
The MegaMets podcast is live for Allin 2024 from Wembley Stadium in London. Thank God they're moving it to Arlington in July.
That's a relief. That's a relief, at least.
That it is. Let's run down this card. We'll start with what will probably be another 4-card pre-show. Again, I'm really going to strangle.
According to this card, this is actually the only match in the pre-show. I don't know if this is going to be
like... For now, it is.
Oh, my God. The event's only 3 days away, so let's just get this over with, because I'm beginning to wonder what's really going on inside AEW.
You're not the only one, my friend. We kick it off with a tag match that pits Kris Statlander and Stokley Hathaway against Tomohiro Ishii and Willow Nightingale. The winner of this will decide the stip between Nightingale and Statlander at All Out next week in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So, who do you think is going to take this?
So if I were to pick, the winning team will choose the stipulation of the match between Nightingale and Statlander at All Out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing Nightingale and Ishii.
I'll also go Nightingale and Ishii, but don't be too surprised if Statlander and Hathaway take a shortcut.
Of course they will.
Next up, for the AEW World Women's title, Timeless Toni Storm against the Glamour, Mariah May, who turned on Toni after she won the Owen Hart tournament.
Just wow.
And I mean, she bloodied Toni.
Yikes.
Is this the night where Toni finally drops the gold? I mean, she's held it since Full Gear last year, but on the one hand, one would view it too soon as Toni has made a fetish of giving champions lengthy-ass title runs. But on the other hand, you heel in the ranks to hold it gold, so I wouldn't mind giving it to Mariah, would you?
I'm not sure. Maybe I think Mariah May should deserve this win.
So will you go with Mariah or not?
I'm going with Mariah.
That's true. Plus, it's in her home nation of England, especially since Toni's an Aussie.
It would work so well with this.
This is the one I'm most conflicted. For the AEW American title, it's really the international.
Just call it the AEW US title. That's what I would do it.
But it's supposed to be the international. Regardless, MJF defends against Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
We knew sooner or later MJF would reveal his true heel colors again. And sure enough, he did.
No surprise here.
And of course, he's once again back to resorting to using that damn diamond ring. Ain't that totally full of his. Ospreay is hell-bent on getting that belt back. He got gypped out of it when did MJF not only use the diamond ring, but he also used an oxygen mask. Basically the same beats he pulled to beat Bryan Danielson at Revolution for the AEW World title last year in that Iron Man match to win the overtime. I mean, you want to send the fans home happy, give the title to Will. But I'm thinking this is when Will gets replaced in the Don Callis family. They got to pull the trigger here to make it ultimately humiliating for Will, in my view. Who are you taking?
I want Will to win.
Will, I love you. No disrespect. I'm going to give it to MJF.
You want MJF to retain. No surprise.
It's mostly to finalize that Don Callis is fed up with Will going against his wishes, and it's time to get new blood into the body. And basically, who's going to be the one who is the one who will be the instrument that Don uses to stab Will in the back? Kyle Fletcher.
Yep.
Someone that Will took under his wing.
Yep.
in the British Indies and when they were in New Japan together in the United Empire.
Yep. Two of them were together, but now they got to fight each other. This is
sooner or later. But I don't see that happening until Full Gear at the latest.
Yeah.
Next up, you want to do this one?
Where are we at? Match 4 on the card?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a coffin match, or as I would say, a casket match for the AEW TNT Championship. You have the champion, Jack Perry, taking on the challenger, Darby Allin.
On paper, this would be in Darby's territory, but anyone who watched WWE in the 90s when The Undertaker was in a title casket match, you always knew what happened. He was going to get gypped.
Yep.
Whether it was the Royal Rumble of 94 against Yokozuna, the Beware a Dog event against Goldust in 1996, the Royal Rumble of 1998 against HBK, the latter most of which ended up breaking Shawn's back.
And put him out of action for about 4 years. That injury was very, very severe.
But at least it was a wake-up call for Shawn to turn his life around.
Yes, it was, because he was in a very dark place.
Mm-hmm. But will this be where Darby bucks that trend? In my view, sadly, no. I mean, it's too soon to take the belt off Jack, in my opinion. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, they've hot potatoed this belt before.
Like how WCW had done in the 2000s.
With the TV title, I know.
And then it ended up in a dumpster.
And then Hacksaw found it and then started defending it.
Wow. I don't even have the right words. It was the same with the world title, too.
To the point where even both David Arquette and Vince Russo won that damn thing.
The only good thing about David Arquette is that he actually donated his paychecks, so it's not so bad.
But even then, that was part of kayfabe to promote the dumb Ready to Rumble movie.
Yeah, that movie was goddamn dumb.
I mean, even Captain and Booker used it as a national treasure. I mean, even Captain Insano knows that movie was a piece of shit. So who are you taking?
This is going to be a tough decision. Jack or Darby? I think it's going to be Darby, no doubt.
I'm going to say Jack.
Fair enough.
Mercedes Moné with Khamille. Most people would recognize her as Nick Aldis's personal valet during his NWA stint.
Mm-hmm.
Defends the TBS title against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. The question in this matchup boils down to one thing for the doc. Ring rust.
Ring rust.
And then you throw in for Ms. Monet. She's got to defend the NJPW Strong Women's title next week at Capital Collision against, I believe it's Momo Watanabe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check that one. Let's see. Events, overview. Upcoming shows. Down. Let's see. Nope. There we go. NJPW Capital Collision. Yes, it is Momo Watanabe she's defending it against.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give this to Monet. Mostly due to the whole ring rust factor on the dock.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you putting your money on?
I'm also putting my money on Mercedes.
Fair enough. The Casino Gauntlet match. Winner gets a future AEW World Title match. We have 22.
Okay. I want to know what the hell is this about?
Think of it like a battle royale where the last man standing wins an AEW World Title shot. We only have 6 of the 22 men that are going to be involved in this. And the unlucky schmuck who got number 1, Orange Cassidy.
I see.
5 that are in this: Marc Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Hangman Page, Evil Uno, and Roderick Strong. There's still 16 that have yet to be announced, which sucks.
Yikes.
And of course, you can cash in that title shot whenever you want.
Uh-huh.
This is stupid, in my opinion. And why would Orange want to go in number 1? Even if he does win this match, he's not winning the title. We all know this. And Marc Briscoe is canceled out because he's the Ring of Honor World Champion. I'm going to throw my hat in on Hangman Page. Where are you going to stick it?
I really don't know who's going to end up in it. Let me, check out this Casino Gauntlet thing. 2 wrestlers with new entrants coming. It's like the last number of 21. It's one fall that can end at any time. This is a tough one. I don't even know who's going to be in it, surprisingly.
I said,
so we have Orange Cassidy, Marc Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Page. I'm choosing Roderick.
And there's still 16 men to find their spots in this match.
Uh-huh.
Next up, last chance match for the FTW title. Chris Jericho with Big Bill against Hook. If Hook loses, he can't challenge Jericho anymore for the gold as long as Jericho's the champion.
Knowing Jericho, he's going to come up with a cheap trick to retain.
Yep. But I'm hoping Hook wins. He needs a lot of backup. Especially when you consider the newest member of the Learning Tree, even though he's on the shelf, the rotten apple, Brian Keith. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just give it back to Hook. And for the love of God, Taz, can you convince your son to put that damn title back in the trophy case?
Yep.
I didn't even want the FTW title brought back.
Yeah.
If the only champions are going to be your son and whatever heels are going to defend, he's going to drop it to. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you taking Hook?
Yeah, I'm taking Hook. Let him finally get the belt so he can finally retire it and put the damn thing away.
Amen. Triple threat for the AEW World Tag Titles. The Young Bucks defend against FTR and the Acclaimed.
So we have a 3-way tag team match for the AEW. Young Bucks, FDR, and the Acclaimed. Interestingly enough, the Acclaim have Billy Gunn in their corner.
Ooh, I forgot something on there. Anyway, the Young Bucks have been seldom defending the title. If this was under the WWE's 30-day limit, they would have been stripped of the belts after Double or Nothing.
I know.
But no, they're the EVPs. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I take it you're not happy with this.
I'm not a fan of actually bringing their real-life business roles into their characters.
Yep.
If I had to pick, get the belts off the Young Bucks and put them on someone who will actually defend them. Whether it's the FTR or the Acclaimed, I don't fucking care.
I'm putting it on the Acclaimed.
I'll go FTR. But I wouldn't be too shocked if the Bucks end up sneaking out of there with the belts.
Yeah, and you're going to be even more pissed. Now we reach the penultimate match, the semi-main, as it were. A 4-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship. Who comes up with these ideas?
Don't look at me.
But anyway, we have the champions, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne, with Mother Wayne in their corner, versus the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colten Gunn. Take against House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, versus Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, the BCC, Claudio and Wheeler, Utah.
I'm just going to ask, whose idea was it to have the bastard or team with Wheeler and Claudio? To me, I said this before with that Continental title match at Dynasty. I'll say it again. What possessed Khan to list Pac as a face? Nothing about his mental makeup at the moment or anything since 2016-17 has screamed Pac is a baby face.
I have literally no idea what the hell's going on. Seriously, I just do not know what the hell's happening.
And that's the main reason I'm canceling Pac and the BCC out of this match.
I know. This is just going to be more upsetting.
So in my view, it's boiled down to the Patriarchy, the Bang Bang Gang, and the House of Black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that maybe they needed an obligatory babyface team, so they stuck Pac and the Combat Club in there. Fine, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. True.
You're right, it doesn't.
You look at all, because if you take BCC and Pac out, it's a triple threat involving all heel teams, essentially.
This makes no sense.
Does anything Tony does make sense?
Nothing ever does make sense. I'm just going to make my vote and be done with it. I choose the House of Black.
I'll also go with the House.
It's going to be a full house. I'll give it that much.
Speaking of house, we go to the main event.
Oh, this one. Before you do, I'm seeing this. This is going to really hurt if it ends up not as we expected. A title versus career match. Why does this seem very familiar?
Anyway, for the AEW title, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, defends against Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana in his corner. If Danielson loses, he can never wrestle ever again.
Honestly, whatever happens, I hope he had an illustrious career.
But when you consider the amount of injuries that have been piling up on Bryan as of late, the deck is heavily stacked against him.
Yeah, here's the thing. I want Bryan Danielson to win this. At least win the championship so that way he could add one more to his everlasting legacy. Because this guy has done so much for this industry. So many good moments, good and bad. But overall, at the end, the guy is a man that has accomplished so much. And if he were to lose here and retire, I'm certain he would have no regrets.
Same here. I mean, whether you followed him through his career in stops like PWG,
Ring of Honor,
Pro Wrestling Noah, Dragon Gate USA, the WWE, or now in All Elite. It's been one hell of a ride for the Dragon.
One hell of a journey. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up losing it, that this is where the journey ends.
Neither would I.
Because here's the truth. I really do not want Daniel Bryan to push his body even further.
Neither do I, my friend.
Does this mean we need to bring out the coin to decide how this will end?
Let's. If it's heads, Swerve. Tails, Dragon.
Flip it.
Unfortunately, it's heads. Whose house? It's Swerve's house. I'm taking Swerve to retain.
Forgive me for saying this, but my vote, I'm voting on Bryan. I want him at least win one championship before he can go out and retire.
Understandable.
Yeah.
For those wondering, this will be available on Triller TV at 1 o'clock this Sunday, or you can go to your local Dave & Buster's and watch it.
They have it in Dave & Buster's?
Well, I think it was due to low attendance for the AMC theaters that they swapped it out. They just stuck it in Dave & Buster's after Full Gear. Makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, because who wants to go to a movie theater, pay $25 for a ticket just to sit through a wrestling event in a theater that has very shoddy Wi-Fi reception?
Yeah.
It makes more sense to do it in a bar. Plus, it doesn't cost patrons a cent outside of the food they'll want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And for those wondering why we did it tonight instead of tomorrow, I've got a horror convention I'm going to. And personally, I'm just going for one reason. To grill the Hardys as to why they didn't fight to bring Bound for Glory to the Carolinas instead of having it in Detroit.
I just don't know why. I'm not going to question it.
And especially when you consider the TNA schedule for the back half of the year. It's with the exception of Bound for Glory, which is going to be in Detroit at the end of October, every show, TV taping they're having is going to be in either the Deep South or in the Mid-South. And it bothers me that they announced it was going to be in Detroit. Anyway, that's it for tonight's MegaMets podcast. We'll be back next week for New Japan Strong Capital Collision, our first time doing a New Japan US event. Till then, comment, like, and subscribe. This is Mets2128 alongside Mega Man and G. Goodbye. Good fucking night. Bang.
Bang.
Thanks, Jose.